that RJ brought tonight and his energy, just the impact that he's had all season long?
I appreciate you saying all season. It was great for him to play the way that he did on the national scene, but what he did tonight, I know he hadn't scored 42 points, but the type of performance that he had tonight, he's been having all season. And, he put the team on his back. It wasn't just his points. I thought he was great defensively, took care of the basketball, distributed, rebound, boxed out. And, we needed every bit of his 42 tonight. He was fantastic. I told him after the game that I've seen a number of performances here at Carolina and also in the NBA. Very few have I seen the type of performance that he had tonight, and I was really proud of him.
Have you ever seen a box score where a guy has 40 plus and nobody else is in double figures?
Yeah. Yeah, I played 12 years in the NBA, and I played with Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Jordan, and I've seen that before, but that's what, we needed tonight. Two other plays that were just as important as the 42 points from RJ, and it's not going to be on Instagram. It's probably not going to be on the news, but the little, I always talk about the discipline and the details, the little things that make big things happen. And, for Jay Witt to step up and make 2 free throws, for Jay Witt and Harrison to keep the ball alive on free throws in terms of offensive rebounds, those are the little things that we talk about on a daily basis that make big things happen. And so, obviously, and rightfully so, RJ should be celebrated for his 42, but just as important were those plays that Jay Witt and Harrison made down the stretch.
Hubert, what did you notice in those last 4 minutes that kind of allowed Miami to get back in there?
The turnovers, just, whether or not getting the ball across 10 seconds, throwing lob passes, not coming, one of the things late in the game, we always talk about the last 2 feet of every pass you have to meet. You've got to be strong with the basketball, and you have to want the basketball in those situations. And so the best scenario for a coach is this one, is fortunate enough to get a win, but also have a lot to talk about. And so I'm looking forward to, we have off tomorrow, but I'm really looking forward to watching this entire game on Wednesday with the team to see what we can learn and grow from.
Harrison was saying that some of the mistakes down the stretch, it was nothing that you guys hadn't practiced, and it was all, he said, you thought it would be quick fixes. Is that you have that belief as well?
Well, I mean, one of the things I always tell them, have you been told, and then have you been taught, and are you talented enough to do it? So if you're told and taught and talented enough to do it, then your job and responsibility is to do it at the highest level possible. And so, again, this is a great teaching moment, and I'm looking forward to Wednesday, learning a lot and growing from this.
Hubert, I know a couple weeks ago when we were in here, we were kind of talking a little bit about, ACC player of the year type stuff, RJ, giving RJ votes, things like that. But I guess in the, guards you've studied, around the league, things like that, what do you think kind of differentiates and kind of separates RJ?
Well, I mean, just a number of things. I mean, it's just on and off the court. I mean, when you're wanting to coach somebody, he's the example of what you want. I mean, it's just not on the court. He gets it done in the classroom. He gets it done in the community. He's a great teammate. He's the hardest worker. We had shoot around this morning. He was the last guy in the gym getting up shots. Comes to work every day, gives his best. His ability to be able to score off the bounce and also coming off screens. His ability to distribute. I mean, he's just a wonderful player. And his commitment to stay here. I mean, he's, to be here 4 years, in a time where there's so much change, his commitment to this team, this program, and this community and this university is something that should be celebrated.
Hubert, to add to that, RJ got beat up pretty good at UVA the other day. Knees were cut, elbow cut. What was he, 1 for 14 from the field? Did you have any sort of feeling that this type of response might be coming from him tonight after the getting battered and bruised up there?
Well, I mean, he gets battered and bruised every game. I I've said this before, how do you react and how do you respond, whether something good or bad happens? And I mean, I knew that RJ would, and just because he shot 1 for 14, I don't think RJ had a bad game against Virginia, but I knew that he would respond in terms of his ability to shoot and score. And, the first 5 minutes, he was pretty hot, and he was just in a really nice rhythm. But it didn't surprise me at all. I knew that he would react and respond this way, not necessarily knowing he would have 42, but I knew that he would have a huge impact in a big game for us tonight.
You guys had some trouble with entry passes, variety of different entry passes.
Yeah.
Do they defend the post, the interior differently? Maybe they deny differently than they did down at Colgate?
No, I mean, they were fronting Armando or three-quartering him, and the guy on the backside was sitting in the lane. And so in those situations, the skip pass, wide open three, and on the opposite corner is wide open, but also the discipline and details of how to enter the ball in the post. Can't enter the ball in the post above the free throw line. You have to break the free throw line, extend it. You never can throw the ball into the post to a big guy leading with a leading pass. It's impossible. The big guys are always fighting to hold their man off. You have to throw it to their hand. You cannot lead them. And so a number of times we were making entry passes above the free throw line, which is a very small chance that could be without a turnover, and leading the ball into the post to the big guy. That just can't work. You have to throw it to him in his hands. And the best, not the only way, but the best way to enter the ball in the post is a bounce pass with two hands, not one.
Was Miami's three-point shooting, especially in the first half, just a matter of them making shots? Was there something defensively that y'all were doing that, left them open?
Yeah, we were leaving them open. I mean, George is one of the best shooters in the country. He has tremendous size, and he was in a rhythm to start off the game and didn't feel anything. He didn't feel our defensive presence at all. Omir, I don't know. That has to be the first time he made 4 threes in a game, but it is what it is. He's a great player, and after hitting 2, we've got to respond, and they were able to make some threes. And so they're a really good basketball team. Even though they were without 2 of their starters, they went to the Final Four last year, and they've got NBA players on their team, and they've got competitors, and we knew that it would be a tough game against them.
You guys were off for a week, and then you played 2 games in 3 days, and now you're off for a few more days before Saturday against NC State. Do you feel like this was a good sort of simulation of tournament format for the coming months?
I'm not really thinking about that, and just thinking about keeping our eyes straight ahead and focusing on what is real. And before this game, what was real was our preparation and our play against Miami. And now, after a day off, our focus and our concentration is on NC State this Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.